Hi, grade 10. I hope that you're doing well. I'm sorry that I can't be there with you. So what we're going to be doing today and in our next few classes until December 3rd is we're going to be working on our Criterion C, the rest of Criterion C, which is creating the solution. So let's look at these slides right down here together, and I will walk you through the instructions for that. So for Criterion C, it's creating the solution. It's the planning, creation, and reflection on the process of making your model of your sustainable system in your city and the action plan that explains the model. So we've already done task 1 where we created a logical and detailed plan that describes how you're going to create your model, how you're going to create your action plan that explains it. So we've already done this. You've received feedback on it on ManageBack if you turned it in on time, and you should be able to apply that to your work so that you can continue moving on with the actual creation of the product. In Criterion C, there's like this weird little thing where task 2 and task 3 kind of really go hand in hand. So task 2 is demonstrating excellent technical skills when making the solution, and task 3 is following the plan to create the solution which functions as intended. So for task 2, how we show we have excellent technical skills is with process photos. So as you finish the different tasks that you've planned for yourself in task 1, so as you finish the different steps to finishing your model that you've planned for yourself in task 1, you're going to take a photo of that work, okay? You can present it in a few ways. So I've kind of mentioned before in our task 1 explanation video that there was a far column in one of those optional templates you could use where it was for process photos. So you can include process photos in those far column. Goodness, sorry. In that far column, you can include it there. Or you can just include it under the task 2 section here and then just include a photo with a caption like is shown in this example and this example. Both are fine. It just is up to you and the style of plan that you went with. In order to give a 7, you have to demonstrate excellent technical skills and use at least 10 process photos with descriptive captions. So you need to document your skills in your process photos. So make sure that the photos are clear, that they're actually showing your work, and that they're showing you following your plan. Here's another example of including it in the plan. Right, you see we can look right here. But we just have to show off your efforts in these process photos so you can document those technical skills. So task 3 is following the plan to create the solution which functions as intended. So in this case, you're following the plan to create your model and your action plan that describes the model. Okay? So to show this task and to complete this task, we need to include photos of your finished model and action plan. You need to include at least three photos of the final product. The photos should show different angles and highlight different features of your model and the action plan. The photos should have detailed captions that explain what is showed in the images. And please try to include evidence of Gantt chart use to keep record of your completed tasks. For the rubric and the task-specific clarifications of our unit, using a Gantt chart in task 3 or just in Criterion C at all, it shows that you follow the plan, and so that will allow you to get a 7. Okay, a Gantt chart is one of the things we need to work for and practice using in order to get a 7. So here's an example of how a student has used a Gantt chart in the past. Essentially, it's just like a table where there's dates along the top, the tasks listed down the side, and then you highlight in some way when you start or you finish, or when you just finish a certain part of your project. So here's an example of one here. If you look on ManageBack in the Completing Criterion C resource on the task here, in task 3, there's more information about Gantt charts that takes you through here about how they can look and how they work. There's a few different formats you can follow, but there's a link here that can explain them more in depth. Essentially, it's just a little bar that shows us when we actually did the things that we said we were going to do. Okay? So coming back here, not only do we have to use the Gantt chart to show that we followed our plan, but we have to include those completed photos of our finished product. So here's an example of somebody who's showed a completed photo of a brochure that they did, and they've put a detailed caption explaining what's in the brochure. So include the clear photos of your finished product and explain them with a detailed caption. You have to clearly present your finished model of your sustainable system and include the link to your action plan. And you should also show that you followed your plan to complete the design using a Gantt chart. So do your best to do those things. In task 4, this one's pretty easy, but you just need to fully justify the changes that you made to the chosen design and plan when making the solution. So you made a plan here, right? You made a plan here in task 1. Maybe as you're working, you made some slight changes to your plan in the order you did things, or the materials you used, or the methods that you used. And so this here in task 4 is where you explain those, okay? So we need to fully justify those changes, And so in order to do that, you need to identify each change that happened to your plan during the creation of the product. You need to provide reasons why those changes were made. Yeah, you must explain why those changes or those reasons were necessary and explain whether or not those changes led to a better product. So there's more information on how to do each of these tasks, including task 4, each of them more specifically here that you can use to help you. And more examples and resources can be found there. If you would like to look at our task-specific clarifications or our rubric, those are linked here. I've broken down in simple terms each of those 4 tasks right here that you can read. Those are kind of the more simplified instructions if you need to be reminded of that. We're going to be working on this for the next, 2-ish weeks. I think it's almost 2 weeks exactly till December 3rd. So we're going to be working on creating your model, creating your action plan, and then reflecting on what the changes were. We'll be doing that in class / at home when you're online learning over the next 2 weeks. And so we need to be diligent about this. We need to be on track with this because I don't want you to have to worry about all of our design class over winter break. And so for us to get through completely Criterion D, we need to stick to this tight schedule. We need to stick to the schedule and be principled about our work and really practice those self-management skills that we don't fall behind so that you don't have to worry about design over the break and going into the new year and your exam season. Please email me if you have any questions about Criterion C. I'll get back to those as soon as I can, and I look forward to coming back and being with you in school soon. Good luck, work hard, do your best. Remember, we can always go back and edit and tweak things, but if we never get started, we'll be in a world of trouble, in a world of hurt. So good luck, talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.